Keep on rolling, baby.
Let's roll. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Roll and Play podcast. This podcast is dedicated for sharing our experience and knowledge around our passion, which is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's also the platform to put a spotlight on Canadian practitioners who are making positive impacts in the BJJ community and helping the sport grow. In this episode 10 now, we sit down with Professor Christopher Rossi, an exemplary practitioner who devotes much of his time in teaching, sharing his knowledge and his philosophy in Jiu-Jitsu. Christopher Rossi is also a black belt, third-degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's also a gym owner, the Rossi BJJ Kickboxing, and also he's a co-owner of the company called Red Shield Supplements. So, and I'm not done. He's a dad and a husband. Man, you're a busy guy.
And we just built a house.
And he just built a house. So, with all his stuff that he's doing on everyday life, he took time to come to this podcast and share with us some of his knowledge and experience on the sport, and also talk to us about his new endeavors, that is his gym and his new company. So thank you very much, Chris, for coming here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good podcast.
I hope so.
Yeah, it will. Oh yeah, for sure. And so we've been knowing each other for a few years now. I've been going to the Evolution headquarters a few years ago.
Pre-pandemic, like 2 years pre-pandemic at least.
Yeah. Thank you for. I really love your classes. It was really good.
Thank you.
And I'm really glad you came to share your experience with us. So really, we start is I want you to explain to us, how did you get to learn Jiu-Jitsu? What was your beginnings? Have you started doing Jiu-Jitsu as a martial art, or you started with other martial arts? And what made you stick to this sport? And I want you to start from, I'm sure you did Jiu-Jitsu from the time you were born to now, so maybe not, but just start from the beginnings and to now. And
okay. So we're going way back. When I was a kid in grade school, I used to fight at least 3 times a week, every week, in the bus, in the playground. I don't know why. I just did. I had a lot, I guess, of frustrations to release. I don't know where that comes from, but it was there. And in the summer, from my 12 years old, I before high school, in that summer, I started martial arts because I saw the first UFC and the second UFC. And man, I fell in love with fighting. I just thought it was for me. I found a jiu-jitsu school. Me and my friend, we found a traditional jiu-jitsu school, a Canary jiu-jitsu school. Gatineau jiu-jitsu. He's an offshoot of Maurice Cyr. Anyway, that I learned later on. Okay. We trained there for about 1.5 years. We started there. We were sponges, man. We just wanted to fight. We just wanted to learn this stuff. I was there. We got there as a white belt, obviously. There was people at green belt. So belts are white, yellow, orange, green, blue, brown, black, right? We got our blue belt before the green belts who were there got their blue belt. So we blasted past people because we were just sponges and we wanted to do this stuff forever. And then we were waiting for our brown belt, and they were like, but you got to wait 1 year before you get your brown belt because that's our curriculum. And we were like, well, we know this stuff by heart, so bye. So we found somewhere else. Back then it was called Fighting Arts Academy. I trained there from 14 years old, or 13 and a half, 14 years old till 18 about, and then they closed. And there we met Pat Miletich, we met Bas Rutten, we were learning MMA stuff before it was called MMA. We did a lot of Thai boxing, wrestling, no-gi grappling, which was just grappling back then. And then they closed. I kind of floated for about half a year through happenstance. My brother was working with somebody who knew Dan. I had met Dan once as a kid when I was training at Fighting Arts Academy. Dan brought me to his basement. We trained in his basement for a while, much like your basement, blue mats on the floor. It was about 10 mats, 9 or 10 mats. We trained there with a few friends. Then we matted his garage instead. So we moved upgraded to his garage. And then at one point, we trained for about 2 years like that. Then at one point he said, I'd like to open a gym. What do you think? You want to open it with me? So we opened the gym. And then I started moving up in the belts and stuff from there for BJJ. But as MMA changed, my goals kind of shifted too. Mm-hmm. And I had Dan in my corner at that point in time. So
Okay, so you started way at the start when Evolution in their beginnings. Like,
No,
you were
we
there.
opened. Dan and I opened
wow.
that place. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. And like throughout your like, let's continue. Like you've went from starting at Evolution and you work your way up to a third degree black belt.
Yeah.
So how did that like? What's your
So at Evolution, I managed that gym for about 5 years, and Dan and I managed it together near the end. And I got really sick. I ended up with an inflammatory bowel disease, kind of like Crohn's. It's an offshoot of Crohn's. And it took me a good 2 years to kind of level all those things out. I was teaching a bit at N1 a couple nights a week just to keep a foot in the door, basically. But I couldn't really teach. I couldn't really train much for that 2 years about. Then I came back to Evo full tilt to 2-3 times a week to teach and train. Okay. But I didn't manage anymore because I had to get a real job because my body couldn't sustain the teaching martial arts or managing a school anymore. But now I'm all good. I've settled all that. And I taught with Dan for a while. I taught at Evolution for a while. I helped them for a good amount of time. COVID happened. And my father-in-law, he has karate schools. He has 2 karate schools, one in Plantagenet and one in Gatineau. And he used to rent school gyms to do his karate in. In the pandemic, as it reopened, schools didn't rent their gyms anymore.
Okay.
So he had to find a new place to train. His wife is my wife's mother. So our wives, I guess, their family own a building, and we used to store stuff in the upstairs of that building. We decided to renovate it, mat it, and he taught his karate in there during the pandemic. I rolled with some friends in there during the pandemic, and then we decided it's not illegal anymore because nobody cares anymore. I decided, you know what, it's close to my house. I've got 2 little children. Maybe I'll take the plunge and start my own gym in there. So we started our gym in there, renovated it, as we move forward. Mm-hmm. Now we have a pretty nice looking gym, a pretty good, well-established training space. It's never going to be 100% what I want it to be, but we're always going to work to get there. And that's basically where I'm at now.
Okay, cool. And let's go back then in time.
Yeah.
What was your first round of jiu-jitsu, your first time going on the mats and doing jiu-jitsu? How was that experience for you?
So the first time I ever rolled was at that Canryu jiu-jitsu place, and it was, I want to say, pretty pathetic because they had no knowledge in grappling at all. Neither did I, but I watched a lot of this fighting stuff. So I had an idea what guard was, even though it wasn't called guard. People didn't call it that. The announcers didn't call it that back then, but so I used guard and I sweep people and stuff, and I was 12, basically rolling with adults, but the adults knew nothing about fighting. They just knew traditional Canryu stuff, which is more theoretical fighting, right? It's more theory. It's like when you're a plumber or an electrician, you go to school, in a trade school, and then when you get to the actual trade, most of what you've learned, the theory, applies, but not in the way you think it would apply, So you got to kind of throw out that knowledge and learn on the job stuff. Well, that's the difference I find between martial arts and combat sports. Combat sports is on the job, martial arts is theoretical. So they knew theory, they didn't know any practice, really.
Okay.
So it gave me an advantage. So that was my first experience rolling and fighting, was at that school. It was kind of pathetic. When I moved to the fighting school, it was very different. Most people who trained back then, when I was about 13, 14, most people who trained combat sports were people who already did an extreme sport of sorts, or bodybuilt, or power lifted. They were strong adults who were looking for another challenge, something else. So my first experience were getting crushed and getting bent in half, and not hurt because I was pretty bendy, but it was pretty violent and pretty extreme when I was 13, 14 years old. Because adults, they saw a 14-year-old kid and they're like, okay, we'll go light, but then that 14-year-old kid is full of piss and vinegar and he's going full tilt, so they go full tilt, and as you know, it escalates quickly when you roll. So that's kind of what happened. My first experiences rolling was being crushed by adults who were much, much, much stronger than I was.
Wow, not all the people go through that these days.
No.
Now we have kids classes.
That's right.
And then once they're 16, they can go to the adults. So
yeah.
you were like in the primary times, like they're really the
beginnings
beginnings of jiu-jitsu.
It was a developing sport when I started.
Yeah.
It was really in its infancy, and it's an advantage as well as a disadvantage, because I tell this to women a lot who train. You're at a disadvantage but it's more of an advantage than you realize. You're going to have to learn to use your body in ways that strong guys will never, ever learn. They'll never learn it.
Yeah, because they rely on their strength.
And it's a great attribute. It's a great asset. But it won't take them as far as learning to move your body in a proper way, in my opinion.
Exactly. That's what I find when I roll with you. You're really smooth. You're fluid. You're not using much strength. You're using your body like leverage to be able to execute your techniques. Throughout your from white belt to black belt, how was your mindset or the way you train or the way you use your techniques? How did that evolve with time?
So at white belt, I would say it was more, again, I was very, very motivated to fight. That's all I wanted to do.
Okay.
That's all I wanted. Like, I didn't even care about school. I didn't care about any of that stuff. All I wanted to do was fight. All I did when I was in school was wait to train that night. I passed my things, but like I squeaked by.
Okay.
And that's all I wanted. And people who remember me from high school are like, man, I used to wear T-shirts about that stuff. You didn't talk much. You didn't do much because all I was waiting to do was that every night. So back then I was very, very highly motivated to just train, get as best as I could to be able to fight in the rings. As I got older, or as I developed in the sport, it was still the same interest, but my intensity probably went down in terms of shooting for that goal of just fighting.
Okay.
It was also getting better, not just getting as good as I can to get in the ring. It was also just getting better in general and kind of experiencing the sport and letting the sport, kind of, I was just going with the wave that I was on, if that makes sense. And now that I'm old, now I don't really care about fighting at all anymore or competing at all. And I'll gladly help people who want to compete, but I have no interest in gearing myself up in that direction at all.
You don't want to do master.
No. Sometimes I get like the itch. Oh man, I should do it, and I think, you know what? I don't want to do it at all.
No,
no.
And then you're talking about like the turning point of some of the like your mindset on training. But was there any turning points on like your improvements or at one point you had a breakthrough of like, oh, okay, I didn't see it that way.
So when I was about 15. From 14 to 15, I was getting destroyed in the gym all the time, but I was still very motivated. And at about 15 years old, after a year of being destroyed like that, I kind of caught up to everybody in the gym and then surpassed a lot of them. So a turning point for me at 15 years old, things were starting to make sense.
Okay.
A lot. Then at 16 or 17 years old, our gym moved where I was, and then like I had no training partners at my skill level anymore. And I was about 16, 17 years old. Even my trainer at that point in time, like I was passing him. Technically, he was a lot more, he was a lot stronger than I was. But he was like 27 and I was 17, so, wow. Or 16, 17. So, but technically, man, we would learn together and I'd pass him. For some reason in this sport, especially grappling, I have a real knack for it. It really just, it comes to me very, very naturally.
Okay.
I don't know why. It just does. It's good for my busy brain, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 15, I started getting really good in the gym. 16, 17, I started really surpassing everybody. 18, 19, I met Dan. And that was another, it brought me back down because I was like getting pretty confident.
Yes.
And it brought me back down because Dan's skills were much, much higher than mine.
Okay.
Much higher. And he introduced me to a world of people who I didn't know existed because in Ottawa there was a group, Ronan was the name of the gym for a while, and they've all split out throughout Ottawa now, but they were people who were in this area who were at the forefront or avant-gardists in the sport who were really high level compared to everybody else around. And Dan was one of those guys. So he introduced me to that world too, which also broadened my horizons on, man, there's some actual skilled people really close here. I thought they were far away, Montreal, Toronto, but there were some really skilled people here in Ottawa, which I then started training with sporadically with Dan. So that turning point too, I'd say around when I was 20, I was again pretty confident. Obviously, Dan could destroy me at will, but that was a different time, a different era. Yeah. It was young Dan. Most people don't know young Dan, but I was pretty confident in my skill level.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then there was more turning points after that, but it was more changing my focus as opposed to increasing my skill level.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And what I find is the days where you're 20 and like you're saying you're super old.
Yeah.
So there was no YouTube at that time and there was no instruction.
No.
So how did you actually learn fast and like you're learning with your partners or creating new moves or
so
how were
there's
you?
this new movement today called the ecological jiu-jitsu method, right?
Yeah.
The ecological method. Well, back then it was mostly the ecological method that we
okay.
used, right? Which for me works great. For most people does not work well.
Okay.
Most people, and this is through years of teaching, most people need some sort of structure,
Yes.
a step-by-step process, which is why Danaher got so popular because he flowcharted everything. And it's amazing for learning. I can't sit and listen to that for a long time because I lose interest. ADHD or whatever it may be, I can't do it. Dan is both, I find. Dan learns by doing, but he also learns by studying. So Dan had an encyclopedia, a large library full of books, because back then it was books.
Oh, okay.
There was some VHS tapes,
Okay.
but it was mostly books. And we'd go through the pages, okay, that one move, okay, now this. It was just picture, with some description. Poorly translated, you know. So we went through those things, and my learning method's always been I learn from other people. So like Dan would go through these things, and he was like my filter. So it would all funnel through Dan, and then he'd translate to me some moves that he found interesting. Then we'd troubleshoot them and make them better for us, not make them better than the person who's doing them. And I still do that with my students today. They all bring back stuff they see on YouTube and stuff, and then I look at it, I break it apart, I put it back together, we make it better, and then I learn it that way. Because sitting through the video, I can't do it.
That's interesting. That's pretty. I use a lot of YouTube,
and that's normal. That's normal.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then I teach it, and so it makes me think more about it. But yeah, it's,
exactly.
It's a different way. And at that time, it was there was not a lot of people that were like blue belts or purple belts or brown
when
belts.
I was like 20, no,
no,
it was a
rare.
pretty, it was a pretty.
So people at high
pretty
level
shallow
were
pool.
really hard to meet, right? It was
Exactly. And back then, like even before I was 20. Like these guys who were blue belts or purple belts were blue belts or purple belts for like 8 years. Because at one point in time, somebody from the States or Brazil would come up to Ottawa or Montreal, teach a seminar, and be like, you know, Mark, you've got a blue belt on. How long you had a blue belt on? 8 years? Yeah, I think you're pretty close. I think you're a purple belt. Here's a purple belt. You know? And that's how they did it.
Wow.
So
Totally different way of doing it now.
No ceremony. There was no nothing. It was a here. You get that, you know, because I'm here. I'm here right now, so I'll give it to you now because I'm not coming back for the 2 years at least. You know?
Wow. So you better you're planning to like you want to be able to show off your skills when that person shows up.
Yeah. So the seminars were full because people were like, man, I gotta get that seminar. I gotta get my belt, and I gotta show whoever it is who's coming up to that I really I deserve this thing. You know.
Cool. Oh, thanks for sharing.
It was a really strange time. And that was before my time, just before my time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, we have it easy now. I guess.
It's different. It's more popular. The more people do it.
Yeah,
and the more people do it, the more accessible it is, right?
Yes. Ah, good. And then let's talk about your competition. Like you were talking about a little bit of competition time. I think you did a lot when you were younger. Tell us what's your experience in competing?
So these are different memories, right? From different times in my life. When I was 14, I did a couple of competitions in Kingston. Because back then, there wasn't a lot of access, right, for BJJ competitions or no-gi competitions or grappling competitions. And they'd piggyback karate events or different events. So what they do is, okay, there's a big karate event in this certain place in Kingston. What we'll do is we'll ask them if we can have a section of the arena or whatever they're renting and do a grappling tournament there. Right?
Okay.
So first tournament I did, I went there. My coach came, which is a rarity, and I'll explain why after. There was a teen division. There was one other teen, and it was a girl. So I destroyed her. And then they put me in the adults as well. And then I got destroyed. Real bad. And I did some things that you should never, ever do. But I did it. And I was told never do that again. I escaped a guillotine. So a standing guillotine. What I did is I was bent over. I jumped up like I air planked. And I spun on myself. Yeah, exactly. So the guy let go. It worked. Right?
You didn't want to break your neck.
And the guy told me after, never do that again. I said, okay, I won't do that again. Fast forward 6 months to Toronto. I went to a competition there. Met Gary Goodridge, if you know who that is. I met Carlos Newton. But when I was a kid, I didn't know these people. Turns out Dan knows all these people.
There's like they're MMA guys, right?
Old school MMA guys, yeah. Dan knows all these people personally, so I re-met them with Dan later on. But get standing guillotined, jump plank twist again. The ref taps me out. So the
Okay.
ref stops the fight. I said, I didn't tap. He said, yeah, you tapped. But again, I was 14 years old. I was indestructible, right? So that was my first 2 competitions were that. Then I did many other competitions. Scarborough, Toronto, Montreal, Kingston again. My coach never came to any of them.
Okay.
So it was my brother, my father, and my training partner. So we were 2 guys, two teens, and my brother and my father would drive us out to all these tournaments. If you think tournaments are badly organized now, they were worse then.
No.
So when are we going on? Okay, you guys are going to be soon. Okay, so we won't eat because we're going on soon. 5 hours later, we're still going on soon.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And then I discovered that if I eat junk food right before I compete, it was the best tournaments I've ever done.
Oh yeah.
So I had that particular tournament in Toronto. I had a hot dog and it puts in because I was starving and I couldn't wait no more. And then they throw us on the mat. It went super well for me. So from then on, I just had a more laid back approach, even as a teenager, and just ate whatever I wanted to eat and competed at whatever weight I was. I was always the lowest in the weight category
Oh yeah.
because I never cut weight. I never did any of that. But I was never properly trained or taught how to do that.
Okay.
So I'd get to a weight category, let's say it was 150, and I'd weigh like 148. So I'd be in the category. Sorry, not 148. I'd be like 152. So I'd be in the 150 category, but
And they're cutting weight.
they're cutting weight right down. So I was like, okay, scrawny guy in every weight category.
And what's your proudest match that you won when you won the competition?
I don't know. I remember some nice moves I did in competing, but there's one tournament I did in Montreal that was really, really good. 2 tournaments I did in Montreal are pretty good, but and I was with Dan at that time, but we were in his garage or in his basement. I don't remember which era of Dan's house we were training in. But yeah, I competed really good at that stage. I had my blue belt, and Dan had just given to me randomly, and I was doing pretty good then. So it was like 3 tournaments in Montreal that were really good. Proudest moments, I don't know. Some cool chokes, a cool ankle lock, but I don't really know.
So were you doing like no-gi and gi, or were you?
I was doing both, yeah.
You were doing both?
Yeah.
And you're saying you're doing MMA as well, right?
Yeah, I did some amateur MMA.
Amateur MMA?
Yeah.
I know, how was that? Like, was it like the difference between MMA and grappling? Like, were you, because were you focusing mostly on jiu-jitsu, or?
So I'm really good. I'm a really good striker.
Okay.
Technically. I'm not great in the ring at striking. I don't like getting punched in the face much.
Okay.
So my first fight, I threw one leg kick. The guy swung at me. I took him down and choked him out in about a minute. My second fight was 3 rounds of me trying to take the person down and not box and getting boxed. I won by decision, only because I was trying to push the pace to get the fight to the ground. But I don't enjoy striking in the ring much. It's just not for me, and I discovered that over time. Third fight, I throw one leg kick. The guy charges at me. I take him down. He sprawls. I roll underneath, rolling knee bar, change it to something else, back to an ankle lock, and finish in under a minute as well. So grappling's my thing. Striking's less my thing. I'm very technical. I can teach it very well. I'm not a great performer when it comes to striking in the ring.
Okay.
So that's just things you learn as you go.
It's incredible, though, that you still remember the step-by-step of what happened during the fight.
Oh, yeah,
After
yeah,
like multiple BJJ fights,
Yeah.
MMA fights, you still remember what happened.
I remember a lot of stuff
Yeah.
from tournaments and stuff. but-
It's a time where, like, when you're stepping on the mats, I'm sure that feeling of it's must be like have you ever felt differently when you step on it, or from the first competition, the butterflies in your stomach, or the slow-mo aspect of going on the mat? Like, did you felt that when you were stepping on the mats?
So yes, and the times I felt that, the times I did the most poorly.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, every time I was prepared and I was really gearing up to compete seriously is the time I did the most poorly. Because I put so much pressure on myself to do well, I didn't do well at all.
Okay.
But every time I went in lightheartedly and had junk food before, I blew through the challenges ahead. So for me, it really has to be fun.
Okay.
Because if it becomes serious and intense, I kind of lose interest.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah. Some people also they thrive on
that
stress,
that
stress.
Yeah,
feeling,
that stress, that adrenaline, and all that. And me, I don't need. Like, it doesn't work for me.
Okay.
That adrenaline.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. And since now you're coach or trainer, how do you do you think it's beneficial for your students to do competition, and how so?
I really think it's an individual thing. I know some coaches out there, some influencer coaches and stuff say, oh, you have to compete because if you don't compete, you don't know what it is. We all train for different reasons, right?
Yeah.
You're a father of 4 children, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, 2.
2, okay.
Yeah.
So you're a father of 2 children. I'm a father of 2 children. We've got jobs. We've got lives.
Yeah.
Competing is a big endeavor if you want to do it well. And for some people, it's great. If you want that challenge, do it. For others, if you just want to train and move forward, I don't feel competing is necessary. Okay. If your goal isn't to become a master in BJJ and you just want to learn stuff and move forward and get a bit in shape and meet some cool people, you can just train, twice a week, 3 times a week. I'll be there to help you. I'll be there to entertain you along the way because it's also what I do. But I don't feel competition is necessary. Not today.
Okay.
Back when I was a kid, if you didn't compete, 1, you didn't train with more people. That was one thing. 2, you never challenged yourself because nobody did this stuff. So, okay, great. You don't compete. You got the same 8 people all the time only you train with. Now there's so many people who do it. There's a big diversity. And there's so many gyms. Just in Gatineau, how many BJJ schools are there? Like 6?
Yeah, there's a lot.
If you count Hull, like 10. You can go to any of these places and they'll accept you. It doesn't matter if you train at Evolution or at the Rock. If you go to Kajia, if you come to my place, if you go to Dan and say I'd like to do a drop-in and train with you guys or come to an open mat and roll, everybody's going to accept you. When I was a kid and Dan was younger, if you didn't travel to compete, you didn't meet new people.
Yeah.
So back then, I'd say competition was necessary. And it's all those people from that era who say competition is necessary today. But it's a different world,
Okay. Interesting. I like competing.
And that's great.
Yeah, I like competing. It's just, it also, I like the fact that there's weight classes, so it forces me to lose weight, because when I don't compete, I gain weight. So I force myself to lose weight, so it's my way to monitor my weight.
Yeah. We've all got our tricks to manage ourselves. I get it.
Yeah. So setbacks. So you've competed, you've done it for so long. Talk to us about any injuries you've got. How did you pass through those challenges?
Okay. So injuries is a tough one. A tough one. It's an easy one. Have you ever been to a new healthcare practitioner, like a physio or a chiropractor or whatever, and they give you a drawing of a person, and they're like, okay, circle where your injuries are? Well, I circle where they're not, because it's easier that way. I circle where there are no injuries.
Oh, wow.
But that's a long time in the sport, and it's scary to some people to say things like that, but I always give this example. Take a career administrative person, woman, man, doesn't matter. They have neck problems, they got shoulder problems, they got particularly their right side, all this is ruined, carpal tunnel, tendonitis, a neck issue, shoulder issue, back issue. It's just any career for a long period of time is going to ruin you, right? Ours is just, it's in movement constantly.
Yeah.
Check construction workers. They're in bad shape at the end of their careers. It's just is what it is. The advantage we have in this sport is that you keep moving. You keep moving in ways you moved as an infant, right? Which keeps you mobile for a long time, which increases your longevity and doesn't decrease it. We don't just sit there. We actually move and get our joints moving. So injury setbacks, I've had several. Dislocated fingers, dislocated toes, blew an LCL. I've dislocated my shoulder. I have wrecked my elbow. I have tendonitis in both elbows. My ankles have been... I've twisted my ankle so many times. I think there's just like just the muscle holding it together. Like,
oh yeah.
It's just that all these injuries, they all add up for sure.
No knee injuries?
Yeah, LCL.
LCL. Okay,
left,
yeah.
Which is a rare one to injure. I don't think it was a complete tear because it healed pretty well.
Okay, good.
But in our sport, again, we twist in ways that other sports don't really do. So. We don't really sustain impacts in that way, but we're using our limbs and our joints in different ways. So, but yeah, that's about it.
And then talking about like all these injuries, what I find great about your classes is that you focus a lot on stretching and mobility when you're prevent injuries in class. So yeah, is that the reason why, because of all the injuries you've got, that you want your students to warm up before, or that's something that you
No, I think I throughout my years, I'm tired of people saying, well, I can't move like that. Well, I can't do this. Well, I can't do that because I can't move like this. But nobody ever does anything to change that.
Yes.
So in my warm-ups, basically the warm-ups are to get you at least limber before we start doing shrimps and rolls and stuff. And I know that's the other movement today. Shrimps and rolls and stuff like that are useless in warm-ups. They're useless in warm-ups for people who can already shrimp and roll properly. If you don't know how to move your body, how are you going to move yourself while I'm trying to stop you from moving?
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to, right? So that's a philosophy I live by for the warm-up. But I try and give people tools. So basically, I'm teaching you how to do some mobility stuff. I'm teaching you how to learn to move your body in better ways, or at least to get some range of motion. But if you don't do these on your own as well, then you'll increase at 0.01% per year if you do my warm-ups. You know?
Yeah.
If you do these things regularly, you'll get better. You'll move better. But you got to move. To move, you got to move. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and then you need to unlock whatever what's restraining you to make those movements.
It'll help. Yeah, it'll help a lot for sure.
It's like my daughter, for example. She's great at cheerleading.
Yeah.
Right. And she does backflips and all, but she wasn't doing it correctly, and now her back is hurting. So she can't move. Like her hips are not moving. So it's very important. I can see now it's very important for someone to know how to move.
Yeah,
to
for
move
sure.
correctly when you're doing this sport, when somebody's stopping you.
Yeah.
Because you can get injured. Like you could use your back when you should use your hips.
Yeah, exactly.
So and then that creates problems, and you can injure yourself. And it's sad to see people that are like they're passionate in the sport and they need to leave because they got injured.
They can't move. Yeah. And that's so for parents. If you got kids, I know jiu-jitsu is interesting and all that. Soccer is interesting. Gymnastics will teach them how to use their body for the rest of their life in ways most sports will never teach them at all. So consider gymnastics. It's super important, in my opinion.
And I'm planning to have a podcast with somebody who owns a gymnastic.
That'd be fantastic.
Just to do the relation between gymnastics and jiu-jitsu.
There's a big bridge there, and I think it's a very strong bridge. And if we don't exploit it more, or if we do exploit it more, our young athletes in BJJ are going to get a lot better.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah, for sure. And so let's talk about your inspirations. What can you tell us? What was your biggest inspiration during your years in jiu-jitsu, and how did it help you throughout your journey? And now is your inspiration still the same, or is it changing through time? So
it always changes, right?
Yeah.
So my first inspiration was Royce Gracie, right?
Okay.
Because that's who we saw in the first two UFCs really dominate, and the rest as well. He was doing pretty good. So that was inspiration number one. That a small guy, and I was a small kid, could do these things, right, to bigger people. And it brought me very far. Then I met Bas Rutten, who was a big inspiration. I saw Frank Shamrock, who was another big inspiration in the MMA world. So it was less grappling, it was more MMA back then.
And then where did you met those people?
At Fighting Arts Academy. He used to bring them up.
Oh, yeah.
From the States. Brought Pat Miletich up, brought Bas Rutten up. So we met those guys, and they were big names back then. Big names. Anyway, so they inspired me a lot too. Then, as cliche as it's going to sound, I met Dan, and Dan's skill level and his abilities were so top notch, like leagues above what you could imagine. When he was younger, leagues above. He could have easily been the A-class fighter back in the day. But he had a family, and he had different things to look out for, and he also had a neck injury, so it kind of slowed him down. But man, he was a machine. So he inspired me for a long time. He still does. Except now he only inspires me when he's warmed up. Because when he's not warmed up, he kind of shuffles around like an old man.
Between Nick and Dan,
yes,
who's better?
Young Nick and Dan?
Yeah.
Dan. Sorry, Nick.
Oh.
Sorry, Nick.
Okay, good.
Young Dan and young Nick.
Because Nick is good too.
Nick is fantastic. And I'm not taking anything away from Nick or anybody else. But I swear I've never met anybody with the killer instinct that Dan has.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Nobody.
Oh, nice.
Nobody.
Yeah. I would like him to come to this podcast and chat with us.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah, that would be good. It would be good.
But like I can't stress this enough. He is, for me, the most skilled and scary person in this sport that I've ever met. There are others, I understand, but that I have ever met and spent time with, he was a scary person. He still is, but he was a scary person when it came to this sport.
Good. Well, I'm lucky to have roll with him. And
yeah, for sure. We're all very lucky to have him around here.
Wow. No, that's good. So he's a big influence in Gatineau and Ottawa.
Yeah, for
And,
sure.
yeah,
But he was
and
one of the
also-
originals in Ottawa. Like, there aren't that many, but he was one of them.
Yeah,
And he was a scary dude to everybody. So
cool. Oh, that's good. And yeah, and then how do you find rolling with, like, have you had a chance to roll with all these bass Rutten and
yeah, I did, but I was a kid. So
okay.
they were in the States. It was already bigger than it was here, obviously. So they were a generation ahead, So they had kids and they had younger people to roll with. So they kind of knew not to destroy and discourage the youth back then.
Yeah, okay.
They were just fun guys.
Okay.
They really were just fun guys. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Ah, that's amazing. That's good experience you got.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your teaching, coaching. So at one
Sure.
point you had you went from being the student to being the coach, the trainer. So can you tell us like how you're seeing, like, what did change your visions and your mindset on jiu-jitsu when you started to teach people and
So it was at Evolution when I was managing there. I was training to compete, and I was training people to compete.
yeah.
And last competition I did, I lost total motivation for it. So I decided to focus more on the teaching aspect and the coaching aspect. And I taught people to compete for a long time. I helped get them ready. I coached them and all that. And I enjoyed doing that. And I enjoyed increasing my skills to increase other people's skills, like to transfer that knowledge. It's quite a road for me to transfer my knowledge, because I learn backwards, right? So you show me step 1 and step 10, which is the last step, and I'll fill in the rest myself. Because if you tell me 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm not listening anymore, right? So I'll just see what step 10 is, I'll get there myself, and then I'll reverse engineer it all to be able to teach you. It's a backwards way for me, right? But that's how I teach people. But it makes me retain it.
Yeah.
So I had to learn that's how I learn. So I had to learn how to break how I learned to teach the stuff that I learned, right? So that was a fun journey, which I now understand a lot better. And as time went on, I really, more than coaching people to compete, more than having a presence in the sport and things like that, my focus shifted more to making the couple hours people spend with me in that gym really get them away from their lives. So I give them something back, like they learn skills, but really what I give them is, I don't want to say an escape, but like a distraction and a change of pace. For those couple hours, they're not there for long, and it really enriches people's lives if you give them the proper time and the proper energy. So that's more my focus now, is to enrich people's lives. If they want to compete, I'll help them, for sure. But I'm really there to have a positive impact on the people who come to my gym.
No, that's good, because there is a lot of practitioners who say that like they have a busy life, or they're going through something challenging, like personal.
For sure.
And that helps them go pass through. Like that 2 hours is like a reset of their day.
And we, as martial arts teachers and all other martial arts teachers who are listening will know the same thing. You are 50% a teacher and 50% a therapist. Like people come to you with their problems, and I see this on the internet all the time. People ask me about, my opinion on their problems and all that, and I am not qualified to help you with your problems. Yeah. I'm barely qualified to teach you jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? So
well, you're doing a good job.
No, but I'm kidding. Like I'm not qualified. I'll listen and I'll help, because again, that's what we're trying to do. But that's really my goal, is to make sure that you feel better when you leave. That's all,
And what do you think something people misunderstand about jiu-jitsu, in your opinion, when they come and start training? Like, what do you think they maybe they come in for the wrong reason, or they and then once they start training with you or going through your class, they start to learn, I didn't see it that way.
So martial arts are in general, a lot of people who are troubled, I want to say in quotation marks, or who have different challenges in life, end up in martial arts just to find some sort of belonging, right? Okay. I think a lot of people start it because it's cool, right? They want to do MMA, or their cousin does it, or their neighbor does it, or they want to be tough, or they want to. And really, two things happen. So people come in and they're tough guys. Either jiu-jitsu breaks them because a little nerd with glasses destroys them on the mat, and it's never happened to them before. Yeah. And they change and they fall in love with the sport, or they leave and they never come back. Those are the two things that happen to tough people coming to try and do a sport to be tough. People who are coming to heal or to find something different, they tend to stick with it for a good period of time because, again, it distracts them from their problems.
Yes.
And it helps them channel frustration and channel different energy and have an outlet for all this stuff, right? We've talked before about belt chasers.
Yes.
Belt chasers end up stopping as well or changing their mindset. Because if you chase that belt, once you hit that belt and find nothing has changed, like we were talking about, you're almost a blue belt and you're really hoping to get that blue belt, you get that blue belt. And the white belts who are giving you a hard time are still giving you a hard time, right? And now the purple belts are less nice to you. And the brown belts are less nice to you because now you have a blue belt, right? And then blue belts quit, right? It was such a challenge to get there because it's such a hard road as a white belt being destroyed by people. You get your blue belt, nothing changes, you get demotivated and you quit. Or nothing changed, okay, well, let's just enjoy this journey and keep moving forward. And then you just keep moving forward, right? So it's a hard road at the beginning of jiu-jitsu. It's a hard road forever, but it's a hard road at the beginning particularly because the learning curve is flat for a long time and it starts curving upwards and then goes up as a straight line because once you hit that kind of breakthrough, things start clicking and you go up a serious level. Right?
And you can learn quicker because now you know the basics, you know
exactly,
why you're
exactly.
doing it.
Mechanics are important, and once you understand some mechanics, everything you can break everything apart based on some specific mechanics. Right?
Yeah. And how did you felt when you got your black belt?
I felt like I did when I turned 38 or 39 years old. It was another day. No. It's a boring answer, but really, when I got my black belt, there was some, like, I was proud of it. Obviously, I knew it was coming. I was very proud of it. I was one of Dan's first black belts. He was very proud, very emotional, but he's a very emotional guy, so that's normal. I had a lot of pride, but at the same time, it made me realize, even more so than I already knew, that I don't want to say they're meaningless, but it means nothing in terms of your skill level. It doesn't change anything for you. All it does is it gives you a little marker. Okay, now I'm here, right? And the Dans are even worse because, okay, you get your first Dan, it means you waited 3 years. I'll get your second one, it means you waited another 3 years.
Yeah.
Right? All it is waiting at that point. And I really think we should be responsible, and you can only get your Dans if you've been training for those 3 years. You know what I mean? Because other martial arts, they don't really train their 27th Dan in whatever style of karate, and they haven't trained in 18 years, you know? But I think for our sport, we really should push that for those 3 years and the next 3 years and the next 3 years and the 5 years after that, you got to be active in the sport. Because if you're not, you really don't deserve to have that marker of you've achieved this because you haven't really worked to achieve it, right?
Yeah.
So yes, getting my black belt was a proud moment, but at the same time, it was an educational moment for me that, you know, it's just another step. It's not really the end and the achievement of a lifetime. It's just another step for me.
Because I think at one point, like, I was a white belt, you want to get that blue belt.
Yeah.
And then you take 4 years, and then when you're a blue belt, you want to get that purple belt.
Yeah.
But at one point, that feeling I guess you get bored out of it, or your body's like, I don't want to.
I think what shifts is that you realize that, man, that's not the important part of jiu-jitsu, right? Or of learning, period. That's not the important part.
Mm-hmm.
Your certificate, your belt doesn't really matter because you're not going to stop there anyway, right? And I think that was probably it for me. That's why it was less climactic than it could have been, because it was never going to be a goal, you know? At a goal, you kind of stop. Your journey's over. So it's never been a goalpost for me, my belt. It's always just been another step on the flat road, you know?
So talking about goals, you're now a gym owner.
Yeah.
You own the Rossi BJJ and Kickboxing. Congratulations. It's
Thank
been
you.
since 2022 you have that gym?
Yeah.
So what made you want to start your own gym? And
Well, I've always wanted to, and like I opened the gym Evolution with Dan. I really enjoyed doing that. It's a lot of work, and I was young when I did it, and now I'm older. I mean, I think I'm more prepared to have such a big responsibility. I just think it was time, basically. It was time to move forward with my own stuff. It was closer to home, so if something happens at home, I can easily get home. And it was 4 minutes away from my house, and now I moved further, so it's 10 minutes away.
Okay. So really, you already had some experience in opening a gym. With
Yeah,
the
exactly.
So that's
Yeah.
something I didn't know. So and then
Yeah.
you started your own. And then what's the most challenging when somebody decides to, I want to start my own gym?
The most challenging is the same thing it is for everybody. It's having a presence out there for people who have no idea you exist.
Yes.
You know, it's talking to people who like jiu-jitsu, like getting your friends to come to your gym, getting people who know about jiu-jitsu and kickboxing to come to your gym is the easy part. It's talking to people and getting in touch with people who don't know, and it could change their lives and make their lives better, but getting them to see you is very difficult, right? And that's always the challenge with any gym or with any business, is getting out there to
Yeah.
people who don't know you exist, right?
And getting that new person who never trained jiu-jitsu
Yeah,
to come at
exactly.
your
Yeah.
gym and stay for
Yeah.
years to come, right?
Yeah,
And become a
exactly.
black belt themselves. So it's hard to find those people for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
How is it going right now? Is it going pretty good?
It's going pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah?
it's going pretty good. So retention is the easy part in quotation marks, because if you provide a fun atmosphere and a laid back approach, most of my students are fathers, you know, who all have jobs and who want to train to get better, and they train seriously, but they're not going to be there 8 days a week. You know, it's not possible for them. So that's most of my clientele, but that's where I'm at now in my life, you know? So of course my clientele are going to follow suit, and we have a family kind of approach. Everybody there feels like they're part of the same group. It's a pretty solid knit community we've got, and that creates retention for people because they want to come back to that every day. They want to come back to that every time to train and see their friends and their family members, jiu-jitsu family, if you will.
Yeah.
So retention for me has always been a pretty natural part of the gym ownership. It's getting new people involved and getting them involved with us and feel part of that community is the hard part. Because once they're in, they're gonna feel part. But
That's good, because you're not like the feel of being a community. That's what I think I like the most in in
for
gyms,
sure.
is feeling like you're part of a family, part of something outside of your personal life. You go there and you have your own thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I really like that. And what, like, the values that are coming out of that? Like, can you explain to us what values your students, your members, they get out of going at your gym?
Well, there's been a lot of weight loss. There's been a lot of changes of ways of life. So now people, instead of wasting time or whatever, they'll come and train. They'll build their life around getting better at jiu-jitsu, as opposed to building their life around a TV show, or
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly,
Like, I just think it has a positive impact on most people who've been there health-wise, generally, because again, you're training there with people who, I've got an almost 50-year-old, I'm almost 40, I've got mid-40s, I've got mid-30s, and everybody's in pretty good shape, and everybody looks pretty young, right? So, and if you want to be like that, you're going to have to make some lifestyle changes, because you don't get there by eating chips and drinking beer, right?
No.
I still eat chips.
Yeah,
I don't really drink beer because I don't.
You don't drink beer? Oh, okay.
Not really.
Okay.
But I still eat junk food. That's part of the reason I train so much, is to make sure I can eat what I want to eat.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, you don't get to feel like that and to move like that and to look like that if you live a certain way, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's for sure a good value to have, is get that sense of community. You get in fit. It builds up your confidence, right? You feel better with yourself, and you can defend yourself better. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. On top of all that, you have actual tangible skills to defend yourself, right?
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about, you saying that you have a lot of dads, a lot of people that are going through, like, in the 40s, 50s. So you're now a dad, you're a husband,
Yeah.
you're a busy man, right?
Yeah.
How did you juggle between being a dad, a husband, a coach, a trainer? You train jiu-jitsu as well. So how do you do that?
I'm going to look right into the camera. Poorly. Poorly. The more attention you put into one thing, the less you can put in another, right? If you only have 100% to give, if you give 20 here, 20 there, it's 20 abroad, right? It's a difficult thing to manage thankfully, I have a wife who's very involved and very patient and organizes my schedule so that I can make sure that all these things are done. Well, organizes my schedule. She's the one basically in charge of time management because I manage time poorly because I get onto one thing and I'll stick on it and then I'll forget the rest of my stuff, right? I probably have attention deficit disorder, probably.
Okay.
And it's a superpower as much as it is a curse, I'm sure. I'm sure of it because you get things done, but you neglect a lot of things at the same time. I find it very challenging managing all this stuff, but all these things are being done and managed for a positive outcome in the future.
Yeah.
So I think I'm on the right road. I just think I gotta take more stops along the way though to enjoy my time.
And do you have a team at the Rossi
So I have a lot of people who
are
are helping me out. So
okay.
like yesterday I wasn't there and there was people to open and give the classes and help me out. I have a lot of help. I don't teach the kids classes at my gym. I have 3 other teachers who do that for me.
Okay.
And they do a super good job and all the kids and all the parents are super happy. So I couldn't ask for a better team, a better support team there. So I have good support in the gym. I have good support at home. So I'm pretty well surrounded.
Oh, that's good. Now that's what you need, right? Like
Yeah.
You can't do everything yourself. You need to have the support to help you.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's good. And how do you like your kickbox? You do also kickboxing. So
Yeah.
Are you the one giving the classes?
Yeah. So I have a student, an old student of mine who started with me at Evolution in 2007, 2008. So he helps me on Tuesdays.
Okay.
And we teach the classes together. We have a pretty good group. It's growing too. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if anybody that's interested in going to see the Rossi BJJ Kickboxing Club, I'll put the information somewhere here, and you can go to you have a website, right?
Yeah.
You have socials.
Yep.
So yeah, go see that. It looks like a great family. Like I see the pictures on Facebook, and everybody seems great.
We're a really good group. Yeah.
And
tight knit group.
Yeah, and Chris, you came to our gym, the Rock Martial Arts, and you gave us a seminar, and you brought some of your students, and really cool people, really nice people. That and that's what's great with BJJ is the majority, I would say 99.5% probably of all the practitioners, maybe it's 98. I don't know. they're friendly. They're there to chill. They're able to have fun.
Yeah.
They're here to, like, if you're struggling on a specific move, or they can help you out. Like people, they like to share knowledge, and that's what I like about the sport. And I really think that your club has those values, and I really think that people should go take a look. And it's a pretty good size gym.
Yeah. We've got a pretty good size.
Yeah.
We're pretty happy.
Awesome.
I said it'll never be exactly what I want it to be, but it'll.
I'll
always be working for that.
Do you have any visions about your gym? About like are you trying to spread it, like have it different locations? Or?
What I'll say is I've got a lot of plans, a lot of potential plans.
Okay.
But nothing concrete yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Now, at least you have some visions.
Yeah.
It's good. You're here for a long time, right?
Yes, for sure.
Nice. Oh, thank you. And then so that's like we've talked about your gym, the fact that you're a busy man with the family. Now you have another endeavor.
Yeah.
You started recently. So it was not challenging enough. You decided I need to do something else. And you started a product line, a supplement product called the Red Shield supplements.
Yep, exactly.
So I tested. I bought some of your
Did you enjoy it?
product. I did.
Yeah, good.
I did. I think I feel better, more energized. My body, I felt stronger. People told me, like, you look bigger, Mark. Like, I don't know. I've been maybe that product. I'm not sure, but there was a transformation that did happen throughout the 2 months that I've been taking it.
Nice.
I feel that I'm sharper at work. So I want you to talk more about the product and what it's all about and what's your mission.
So a friend of mine, Jimmy Harvey, we started together this supplement company. We've got a lot of plans for the future as well for different blends of things, but we started with the hardest one to get approved, which is an energy blend, or a pre-workout, you can call it.
Okay.
I call it energy blend. People call it pre-workout because I take it whether I work out or not. I take it every day. So does Jimmy, so does everybody I know, really, because once you start it, you really do feel a difference daily when you don't take it. So we started with that, and through Health Canada, it's the hardest thing to get approved, because when you have stimulants in your blends, they really go through it with a fine-tooth comb. So it takes a long time to approve. There's a process there for legal approbation. But once you have that, then you can do whatever you want with your product, basically, as long as you don't change the blend that's in there. So we started with the hardest one. Now we're working on different blends that are coming later on for recovery, for intra-workout. So while you're working out, to have something to keep you hydrated and keep your energy up. We have some people around us who are distance runners and cyclists and triathlon people, and they've really taken to our energy blend because it helps them really keep a steady pace and keep a steady energy level throughout their whole endurance race. And that's a line of people, or a community of people we never thought we would be contributing to, because we don't participate in those sports at all. At all. And now we're finding that it's probably some of the sports that will benefit from this particular blend the most, because they put their body through extreme torture with these races. So
it builds up on endurance and also a recovery on like you're saying, bones recovery.
Exactly. So and then our recovery blend is gonna pile on top of that.
So, but your product right now is also doing that kind of.
A little bit.
But because you have a lot of different products that.
That's why one of the reasons why we started with that is that myself and Jimmy, there's no pre-workout that's going to have the ideal blend out there. So I would have the pre-workout that I bought, and I would have 4 different other products that I would mix into my pre-workout. Whereas now we decided, well, to hell with that. If that's what we're doing, if you're doing that and I'm doing that, well, let's just make a blend that has everything that we want in it.
Yes.
Right? Which is what we did. So our blend really is a very rich blend for the price, for sure. Most of the blends are way out of the same price league as we are, but our goal is that we give you a complete blend of something, a daily shake you can use for your energy, for your focus, for your health as well, for your cognitive health and other health aspects. You can go check our website for all the information, for a reasonable price that anybody can buy, right? So
and it's not only for, like, were you seeing a gap or something that was missing in the market that made you want to start this product? And was it mostly focused on martial arts, or it was for everybody?
So initially it was. I thought that we would use the martial arts community, like we would take advantage of the martial arts community that we're in, because I've been in this community for such a long time. And the gap on the market, or the hole in the market, was exactly that. There was no complete blend that made sense to me daily that I would take, that I had to mix myself with a whole bunch of other things bought individually, but now I don't have to do that anymore. I have this one complete blend.
And you have multiple flavors, right?
I got 4 flavors.
I tasted the watermelon one. It's really good.
That's my favorite.
So, I've been mixing it with some protein powder at the same time, and it was pretty good. Like I do the peanut butter or the chocolate protein powder with watermelon. It tastes like peanut butter and jam sandwich, which I love. So
okay.
But just the watermelon itself is really good.
Okay.
So you can do it, and I find that the focus that you were talking about, the mental focus, really helps when I take it in the morning and during the day.
I really feel a difference.
My emails are impeccable.
Yeah, exactly. They're always angry. I don't know.
So you were talking about different products. So you're still growing the business, which is great.
Yeah, certainly. We've got a lot of plans, a lot of things coming. It's just these things take time. That's all.
Yeah, and it's local. And then
it's completely local,
which is great. Like I like to promote Canadian companies.
Yeah, and all our suppliers are Canadian, so all the products come from Canada, and we're right from here. So
awesome, that's great. Yeah. Like having someone that locally that is creating this brand now. And another question about this is why Red Shield? Like why are you using the
Red Shield? So it's not on my shirt here, but it's on my back. It's the same logo for my gym. So so I have the logo here. There. It's clear. There you go. So basically, my last name is Rossi, right? So my gym's called Rossi BJJ Kickboxing. My gym was initially supposed to be called Red Shield Combat Sports.
Oh, okay.
But with in Quebec, there's language laws, and I'd have to have a trademark started for the name And if I had a trademark started for the name, which takes 3 years, but if you have the paper saying you're in the process, then the language laws can't really touch your trademark name, which is why Canadian Tire is Canadian Tire and Walmart is Walmart.
Yes.
Right? But I didn't get to start that process before I opened my gym, so I changed to Rossi BJJ Kickboxing. That way, it's pretty untouchable.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be Red Shield because Rossi basically means red in Italian.
Oh, okay.
And the crest, our family crest, is a red shield with either a lion or a dragon on it.
Okay.
So I had a friend redesign my logo, design my logo based on that crest. And he came up with this because he's a graphic designer who was a very, very skilled graphic designer. Came up with this logo. So everything's Red Shield. So it's all basically just, it's a family company, essentially.
Okay, so it's from your family.
Family name, a family crest.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. They can get some information from your website.
Yeah.
Are you sponsoring anybody with your supplements?
Yeah. So I have a cyclist, Ryan Jones, who was doing he's not just a cyclist. He's doing an Ironman in Mont Tremblant this weekend, I believe. Yeah. So we're looking forward to seeing his results. And we've got some other things we're working on as well. I've got another podcast, a friend of mine who lives in LA,
Yes.
who came up, and we're sponsoring his podcast.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I saw that on your website.
Yeah.
I went and watched some of his. It's very similar to this type of.
Yeah, but that's what people are doing.
Yeah, but I listened to it. It's pretty good. It's,
But that's what people are doing. So I mean,
no, it's good. No, it's good podcast. And what else? Like if somebody's like unsure of what kind of supplements to take or which one, because there's so many of them, right? Like I would say,
yeah, for sure.
It's a big market.
Yeah.
And why would they come and choose Red Shield supplements instead? Like what advantage do they see? You're talking about price earlier.
So the price is really good for the amount of stuff you're getting in your daily intake of this particular blend. The post workout will be the same thing. The prices, we're trying to get the price points low for what you're getting. So you're getting a lot of stuff in one scoop for basically $1 a scoop. You can go and check out all the ingredients. We've listed what they do and their effects on our website as well and how they help you. The caffeine amount per scoop is very low. So people who have trouble with caffeine and don't want to get a stimulant that's too intense or stimulation that's too intense, you won't get that with this particular blend. There are multiple advantages, but I'm not going to tell people you have to take this. But once you do take this, you'll see that other pre-workouts or energy blends you've had in the past don't really compare. So
it's good. Like I for sure got some benefits from it. So I recommend if some people want to try it, they can go on your website. I'll put everything here in the screen.
Sounds good.
And then you can go see and decide if you want to try it yourself.
Yeah, certainly.
And final thoughts. So I going through this, like your journey that we went through during this podcast, like you went through white belt to black belt, third degree. You started your coach. You started your own gym. Your dad, your husband. Now you're doing those supplements. How did BJJ values help you going through all these challenges? Like it goes through all these, because it's not comfortable at first, right? Going through all these different things. You're going through challenges. You're hitting walls maybe, or hitting like some hurdles. How does BJJ help you going through these?
I think at this point I'm more uncomfortable when I'm comfortable than when I'm uncomfortable.
So
that
you
make
like the
sense?
discomfort.
No, but I think BJJ has taught me many, many things in my life, and one of them is that no matter what the challenge, no matter what the adversity, you can overcome it, right? It's like I could compare it to like fasting. Have you done 24-hour or 48-hour fast and things like that? Never mind the other benefits or the physical benefits. One mental benefit it gives you is that you realize that when you're hungry, you don't necessarily have to eat right away.
Yeah.
Right? It teaches you mental fortitude, and jiu-jitsu certainly teaches you mental fortitude. Those first years when you're a white belt and a blue belt are hard years. And when you pass those years, you realize that there's not much that you can't do, right? And for me, when I was 14, getting destroyed by adults, like you do realize there's not much, like there isn't much out there that you wouldn't be able to accomplish, right? So that's basically the life lesson of jiu-jitsu for me, is that any obstacle you can overcome. It just might take time.
Yeah, exactly. And you need to trust the process,
Yeah.
trust in yourself, right? So know that keep going, you're gonna get better.
Yeah,
and then,
exactly.
And that mindset really helped a lot of people. I think,
Yeah,
in
for
BJJ.
sure.
And it helped for me. It helped me as well. Like it helped me at work. Helped me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In this podcast, right?
Yeah.
It's not easy. I feel uncomfortable, and like you said, if you feel uncomfortable, maybe you're doing something right.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
I mean, not for everything.
No,
but,
no, my foot's on the fireplace. I mean, I'm
Take that
uncomfortable
effort.
for a reason.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Chris, for sharing this. I want to do something fun
Yes,
at the end.
your lightning round.
Lightning
yes.
round. It's just fun, and it's something new that I want to start. And I just want you to say one thing.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, and don't
best.
go depends. And
I'll do
through.
my best.
Yeah, so it's a few questions, maybe 10.
Sure.
10 questions, and let's go. All right.
Okay, I'll
You
do
ready?
my best. Yeah.
You ready?
One answer only.
Okay. Gi or no gi?
Gi.
Favorite submission?
Omoplata.
Tape all your fingers or none at all?
None at all.
Technique or guerrilla strength?
Technique, unfortunately.
Technique or human strength?
Technique.
So you can fight a gorilla.
Yes, exactly.
Intense or flow roll?
Flow.
Flow, eh? Have you ever cried after a roll
No.
or laugh?
I laugh all the time.
Yeah. Exactly. More dangerous, heel hooks or stepping on a Lego?
Heel hooks.
Stupid question.
Have you ever had your knee popped by a heel hook?
No.
Well, I have.
Oh yeah.
And it's very unpleasant.
Oh no. Would you rather fight? That's another funny. Would you rather fight one black belt sized duck or 100 duck sized white belts?
I fight the white belts.
Yeah, you would fight the white belts.
Duck
first?
size white belts. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'd be funny.
How many gis is too many?
5. 5. 6. 6 is too many. I'd say.
Yeah.
After 5, I think you get a lot.
Okay.
Geese.
Choke or joint lock?
Choke.
Favorite post training snack?
Our recovery blend that's coming.
Ever dream about BJJ in your sleep?
Often, yeah.
Yeah. Non BJJ related hobby.
Man,
It's
I've got
fun.
many,
Okay.
but I played badminton for a long time.
Okay.
Badminton, sure.
Badminton.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I know your answer here. Ecological training or technique based training?
The answer is yes.
So it doesn't. No
Unfortunately, you kind of need both, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Well, thank you, Rossi, for
Well,
sharing all this great knowledge of yours. And,
No problem. I appreciate it.
And all the experience you have to bring to the community, and then the time you take to make sure that the sport is growing and people get to get knowledge easier than how you went through. Like
Oh, yeah,
your knowledge
certainly.
was a bit harder, much harder, I guess, when you started the jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, certainly.
Now these days, you have people like you that are like, people have questions. They have struggling. They're struggling in the sport. You can help them, and then you went through it and you make it easier for everyone. Now, I think something that King said is we're walking on shoulders of giants, right? So. You're gonna be not a giant, but like, still you have that experience to help us, the people that are going through that.
Well, thank you.
Journey to help the community. So thank you very much for that, Chris.
You're very
Maybe
welcome.
you're not
Thank
seeing
you.
it, but
No, I don't see
people
it,
around you.
Because
see
for
it.
me, I'm standing on shoulders of giants.
Exactly.
Right? So
But it just piles
Yeah,
up.
yeah, I
right? It
understand.
gets easier for
I understand.
everybody. And I think it's like that for any sports, anything. Like you see hockey, you see it's the people that they started in the the beginnings and work their way up. Well, people that are starting at that time, they just benefit from everybody's hard work right from before. So
I understand, and I think that for myself, if I don't think I'm doing a good job or enough, I'm probably doing a pretty good job. You know what I mean? Like I think a good coach, like a good parent, if you're never really satisfied with how well you're doing, it probably means you're always trying to do better, right?
Yes, exactly. Like you don't. Yeah, that's the thing with progress. You don't want to. You want to stay humble, and that's what BJJ really gets you. It's like you think that you're talking about earlier. Like I felt like I was good, very good, and then nobody can really out grapple me.
Yeah.
And at one point I met Dan, and then he
exactly.
was destroying me, and then he brings you back to humble, and that's what I think BJJ really helps you with, and it brings that those values and
certainly.
So when
It
I roll
certainly
with you,
does.
like I feel great, and then I roll with you, and I feel like, oh my god, like I really need to learn stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you again, Chris. I'm gonna turn to the audience here.
Yeah.
I want to tell you that if you really like this content and you want to listen more, it would be really good to subscribe and like the podcast. It helps the podcast itself to spread and for people to know more about it. My goal is to be able to promote everything that's happening in Canada in Jiu-Jitsu. I want to promote companies, gyms. I want to promote practitioners that are doing great or have experiences they want to share. You can contact me at info@rollandplaypodcast.com. If you have any questions, or you want to come to the podcast and share your knowledge and experiences, or if you have a new business or you want to share with that, you can use this platform to help out. And really, I'm starting right now. You're seeing I have a T-shirt here. Because right now it does cost money, right, to do this, and I want to make it grow. So I started to design T-shirts related to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm going to be starting to show them on my website. So you can go to www.rollandplaypodcast.com, and you will see I have a few. So I have a series here so it's like every belt level. I have a little funny character at the front, and then at the back it tells you there's a funny quotes about what is being a purple belt or a blue belt, and the profits are used specifically for this podcast. So I have some plans, but it does cost money. So so right now I'm not making any money with this podcast, so it's just for fun. I'm just doing this for fun and share the knowledge. So I want to start doing some instructionals. So if you go on my website, I started to do instructionals at my gym, and I'm posting it on my website. And so that ends this episode. I hope you really liked it. And like I said, the end, Chris, and I think this episode really emphasized on what I said. The end is you trust yourself, right? It's very important. You need to trust your coaches; they're here to help you, and you need to trust the process. The process is long, but you gain so much from it, and you grow. All right, thank you very much, Chris. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.